folks. Welcome back inside Manhattan Basketball. Chris Nine will speaking with the head coach of the Manhattan men's team, Steve Masiello. And Coach, coming off a nice victory at Illinois State. First ever meeting between these two squads. And we saw a little bit more of the defensive-minded Manhattan that we've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I thought we came out with the right defensive mentality. And I thought we started the game, and actually started the second half with the right offensive mentality. We didn't have the offensive mentality for 40 minutes that we should have had.
Mm-hmm.
Give Illinois State credit for that. But I thought we came out, we were aware of what we called their target, which was Lofton. He was a guy that we didn't want to get off. Where I was really disappointed was more than anything else is we've allowed teams with Mullins, with the terrific guard from the South, I can't forget his name, Garland, and then here with Creek, teams' three top guys to get off and hurt us. That's something we've taken great pride in, even over the years when we played a guy, whether it be Momo Jones, we made him shoot a low percentage to get what he wanted to get, or whether it be a Barron, we always try to take out teams' top guy, and we weren't doing that. I thought we did a much better job of that. We held them to a lower shooting percentage. Conversely, we went the other way with our turnovers and our offensive field goal efficiency. So now we got to kind of get our defensive mindset from Illinois State and our offensive mindset from the other three games, and then we'll have a pretty good basketball team. When we do that, I don't know.
There was a point in Illinois State, both in the first half and the second half, about 7 minutes left in each frame, where you saw them start to creep back into the ball game, get a little bit closer, and the offense for Manhattan started to go cold. But then defense really locked it in and dropped that field goal percentage for their opponent incredibly well down the stretch.
I'm okay with that because, and especially if you look at our schedule, A-10, A-10, very good Ivy League, MVC, A-10. There's good players. So we're not going to be fortunate enough to play a game as much as I would like, where we could just be on a run the whole game. Teams are going to respond and have their run. The real key is how do you respond to a run? Do you fold, advocate, and let them continue the run? Or do you draw a line in the sand and say, that's it, you had your run, enjoy it, you had your 7-0 run, your 7-2 run, your 9-1 run, now it's our turn to get on our run, and you don't get any more. The very good teams give teams one run a game. No matter what the score is, whether you're up 30, teams are going to want to run. They're going to cut it to 22, they're going to cut it to 20. Do you give them another one? The good teams don't, and they cut it there. That's what we have to understand. You give teams their one run, because every good team on our schedule is going to make a run, up, down, or indifferent. Limit the run and stop. And I thought we did a decent job. I thought we gave them 2 runs. I thought in the first half we gave them a run, allowed them to get back in it. And I thought in the second half when they cut it to 5, they had back-to-back threes, we gave a run. But I thought we responded very well both times. As competition gets better, you can't give them the second one.
You've gone after him a lot in the beginning of the season. You even said it to me after the game that he's asked you to not lay off of him, but Ramel Brown had a big game against Illinois State.
In your standards. Your standards.
The rebounding, the defense.
It's amazing. I'm killing him during the game for his turnover. He misses a dunk, and not that it's about missing a dunk, it's just a mental approach to me. Guy gets an uncontested layup. I'm at the under 8 timeout, and I look at the stat sheet, and he's right there for a double-double, and I think he's playing mediocre basketball. Right. And I say that because that's how good he can be. He can come on the court, and we have 2 guys and a third that can dominate the game, and like I brought up, in different ways. Obviously, George is showing really now the scoring and his rebounding. He's getting some major rebounds and plays in games that you don't expect. Ramel can be a block shot finisher, rebounding, dominating force when he wants to. That's one of the reasons I've been so furious with him first 5 games of the year. And so he played well, played better than he was playing. That is D+.
So as you look forward then for Ramel, when you talk about him after the game saying, don't ever let up on me, what about that do you love most?
Well, I like a lot. I love everything about him. And the one thing I love is I think when it's easy to be good when things are good. Easy to do that. Easy to walk around, love your team, love it. It's when things are bad. 1, how do you handle yourself? 2, how do you respond to things? I think it says so much about Ramel Brown. He didn't play well. Not only was I on him, but his team started getting on him, which I like, because now it's peer pressure. Peer pressure is always more powerful than coach-player pressure. When George Beeman's getting on Ramel, it has more of an effect than me getting on Ramel. When Rashawn Story's getting on Ramel, it's more of an effect. So he responded to that. He came out, had a double-double on the road, got some huge wins, went to the free throw line, made his free throws, did a lot of little things to help us win the game. So he responded. The second thing I look for, how do you handle success? Do you become complacent, ego, read your own press clippings, feel yourself, oh, I know I'm good? Or do you strive for perfection? You were a guy, when you got an 85 on the test, you were happy, you probably went out that night, party, didn't study the rest of the week. Ramel Brown gets a double-double, and he's saying, push me more. See the difference?
Yeah.
He's striving for greatness. You're the epitome of average. That's for you, Brandon.
3-0 on the road here.
Your brother Brandon, he wants greatness all the time. He almost broke up with his girlfriend because of her record. Just say his brother comes to the game. We're undefeated when Brandon's come. He brings his girlfriend Ashley. Is that her?
Yes.
Ashley. We lose at home to GW. He was thinking about breaking up with her. That's commitment to greatness right there. How many of you fans at home will get rid of your wife, girlfriend, his significant other because of her record in games? That's what we need to think about. That's what I'm talking about. That's allergic to average, like my man Eric Thomas says.
3-0 on the road for this team. How big is it to get?
Moving all games after that. We just got it. That's it. We're done. It's great. I think at this level, in order to have a good season, a good year, and when I say that, I don't mean postseason. I'm just talking about regular season. You have to have the ability to go on the road and win games. Because why? You don't get many home opportunities. Now, the flip side of that is you have to take care of business at home, and that's something we have not done this year. No, we've only had one chance. We lost to a very good GW team. That being said, no excuse. I don't care who's coming to town. You need to win at home. And that should be every coach's mentality. I'm sure they all feel that way. I am very happy the way we've handled the road. Tough games, close games, and we've come out with wins. You can easily sit here and say, well, those games could have gone either way. Georgia Beam doesn't make a great play. LaSalle's double overtime. Illinois State, you're absolutely right. I ask you this, though. A year ago, would we have won those games? I don't think so. So that says a lot about your team, which I'm very happy with.
As always, I like to get the fans involved, and on Twitter, Zach wants to know who you see as the biggest surprise within the MAC this year.
I think the MAC is a dangerous conference for two reasons. One, anytime you're picked one, you're circled. Mm-hmm. So now you're getting every team's A game. They're circling you, and you have kind of, whether you asked for it or not, been labeled or the bar has been set based on you. So now when you're playing a team, let's say is picked 8, they're coming in and they want to see how good they are. So that they play you, can beat you, knock you off, play you to a 2-point game, that's a barometer for their team. The same way we use the defending champion, which is Iona this year. Mm-hmm. That's our barometer. They're the defending champ. So we like I always talk about, we have to knock off the champ. And when someone does that, it's meaningless. So it's surprising for us because it's a new role for us. We haven't been in this territory probably since 2003, 4 time so that's a new area. The second thing is MAC is a really unique conference. You have Quinnipiac, who no one really knows about because they're a new member that's playing terrific basketball. Time always got these guys. Everyone's been talking about their front line. That backcourt is phenomenal. They have a young freshman guard who's just terrific. Monmouth goes and plays St. John's to the wire, and St. John's is a very good basketball team, so it shows you what King Rice has going on at Monmouth. Then you look at the job Jimmy Pazos is doing at Siena. They almost beat Purdue. I don't know if that game was a neutral or at Purdue. They almost knocked them off. And you see all teams that you didn't expect maybe to be where they are doing very well. Iona with an unbelievable win at George Mason. Fairfield plays Louisville to a 13-point game, number 3 team in the country. So every night you step on the court, you don't know what can happen. It's what makes MAC basketball so much fun. It's one of the reasons I probably have a nervous breakdown 25 times.
One other one from up in Conyers, New York, Coach. They want to know, with Thanksgiving approaching, upstate. I think that's at Dutchess County.
Dutchess.
It's upstate. I'm not a New Yorker.
I think he's making that up.
They want to know what your favorite part about the Thanksgiving holiday is.
No holidays. No holidays in Jasper land, in Jasper Nation, till we get rings. We're not having practice. Anyone who wants to come, we'll have practice Thanksgiving morning, 9:30 to 12. That's how we'll be celebrating our Thanksgiving here, getting ready for our next opponent. That's what we do here. We are on a mission. Holidays are for people like you who want to be average. We want to be great. We don't take any days off. While you're eating turkey, we're working. You're having stuffing, we're working. That's what Jasper Nation's all about.
We're working for tomorrow, then Fordham, the Battle of the Bronx. You and I talked about this a lot last year. The ones the alums really care about are Iona and Fordham. You get the Rams in here tomorrow night that are led by a very talented young man in John Sevier, the freshman.
Yeah, and we cannot talk about Brandon Frazier.
Right.
Senior backcourt. Those two guys, I think 44 points a game, almost 50% of their offense. One of the most dynamic backcourts there are in college basketball, which is scary because guards win games. And anytime you're playing against a great backcourt, they're in the game. I don't care what their record, what their numbers, what freshmen, seniors, when you're playing against dynamic guards, you're in for a tough opponent, and they sure have them. This game for us, it means a lot to me because it means a lot to my administration, my fans, our alumni. We only get one loss or one win from the game. So we try not to get too up about it, but we also understand the urgency and what it means. We are an extension and representation of the 6th borough, of Jasper Nation. So what's important to them is important to us, but that being said, it's not the MAC championship.
With Tom Pecora and the way that he's been a coach, whether it's at Fordham, as an assistant at Hofstra, with a head coach at Hofstra, he's been a very guard-oriented type of offense and type of style of team. How do you defend that? How's that different than the teams you have been playing who have a lot of size?
Well, I think it really helps them this year with the new foul situations and how things are going. Tom's done a terrific job, not only with the team, but really his recruiting. For him to have a guy like a John Sevier at Fordham, Mr. Basketball, it's phenomenal. And you got to give him a lot of credit for that. And they have a great guys coming behind that. So I'm a big fan of the job he's doing. I think where it makes it really difficult is we predicate ourselves on trying to turn people over, speeding the pace up, really bothering you. Well, the more ball handlers and skill players you have, the better chance you have of playing against that. So their style is a great solution to our problem, so to speak, of the way we want to play. The way he plays, it's tough to go against for us because they have 4 guards, 4 guys that can shoot it, 4 guys that can handle, 4 guys that can pass, and they're talented guys. So it's definitely a contrasting style. We're a little bigger this year. We're going to try to, pound it inside, hit the backboard. That being said, tough to do when you're playing against 4 guards chasing around.
I know that your biggest focus, obviously, is the very next game, which is Fordham, but just looking forward to that Hofstra with Joe Mahalik as the head coach now, how does that change the dynamic? A guy that you've known very well at Niagara this entire time, how does it change the way you face the Pride on Saturday?
I haven't even really looked at the game at all, and I don't say that. I've just been so worried about getting ready for Fordham and how good they are. I don't know what coach is doing over at Hofstra. I've seen some of his scores. They've been in a lot of games. They played some teams really tough, and they've gotten some good wins. But if I know anything about Coach Mahalik, his team is going to play unbelievably hard. They're going to be really prepared, and offensively, he's one of the best coaches there are. So I know just what a Joe Mahalik team is all about. I have so much respect for him. I think he's such a wonderful teacher of the game. Anytime you go against his teams, you're going to be in for a long night, which we're aware of. Just last year, they came in here, beat us, swept us. I think they were the only team last year to sweep us. And that says that he gets a lot of credit for that. That being said, another tough road game, local game that we have to be ready for. That I mean is, the one thing about our schedule, I looked at our RPI, I think we're 28th in the country. There is nothing easy about this schedule, and that's what we wanted. We wanted that because we want to know where we stand. We have a ton of work to do, and we're 3-1. And I would give us right now D+ for the season. That's where I see us.
You have been all about Twitter and all over the place, and it's a great thing for this. And folks, if you're not following Coach on Twitter, especially Manhattan students, you really need to, because you've done something this year. You're going to bring 2 members of Jasper Nation onto the bench here at Dratty Gym.
I started really, when I saw Jasper Nation come to Philly, I was blown away. And I say this, Kentucky basketball, University of Kentucky travels like, you go and check in the hotel, there's 3,000 people in a lobby. Louisville travels really, really well. And I've played a lot of places. So I looked up at Gallerina in Philly, and we had a couple hundred fans there. We go to Columbia, we have the whole gym. And I said, this is what college basketball is all about. And I do it because I want not only the student body, the students and the fans to know how much we and myself appreciate the time, the sacrifice, what they put into it, the money spent. I want them to know what's going on in their program. This is their program. We're just the people who are chosen to represent the program and be able to be the windows of the school, which is a great honor and a compliment. We take a lot of pride in it. But I want them, if I could have all of Jasper Nation in my locker room, I would. I mean, if I could if we could start a campaign, get bigger locker rooms, they could all come. We could get a bigger bench, I'm all for it. So what I'm doing is every game, I'm going to pick 2 students and put them on the bench and let them really see firsthand, come in the locker room, be a part of it, spread the word, see what we're about, see what the guys are like, see what I'm about, and just have fun with it because it's their program. This is their school. We represent it. We go on the court. We do the job of what they want us to do.
A work week for Manhattan. It begins tomorrow. The Battle of the Bronx as the Jaspers welcome in Fordham at 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Dratty Gymnasium.
You working next year?
I will be, actually. I
Where?
will be working at ABC Sports Radio.
ABC Sports, look at you. ABC Sports Radio.
Gotta do something so I can stick around here.
Yeah, okay.
I can stick around with you guys.
Fair enough. All right.
You're
I'm
rubbing off
happy
on me.
he's working. That's what I like to see.
If you'd like to ask Coach a question on our next Inside Manhattan Basketball, you can tweet us at GoJaspers. You can email us, gojaspers@manhattan.edu. You can also follow Coach on Twitter, Steve_Masiello.
And last thing we have to do, Coach Wilson, our assistant, just turned 26 last Thursday. Anyone who wants to wish him a happy birthday, he is single. He works a lot. He is looking for, to get out and have a little fun and really, learn New York City. I make him work way too many hours. So it was his birthday last Thursday. If anyone wants to send him a card, baked goods, cakes, cookies, cupcakes, anything like that, he'd really appreciate it. Wish him a happy birthday if you see him at the game. He's getting old, but he's still got a great head of hair. So I just want to let Jasper Nation know it was Coach Wilson's birthday.
Coach, thanks a lot for the time. Thanks for joining us inside Manhattan Basketball.